Diddy's spokesperson just called a former child actor, now suing Diddy for what he says happened in 2007. Just another hater trying to get in on a money gravy train. A child who says he was a minor when it happened, called a hater, called false and ridiculous. That is the official response from the team of a man currently serving 50 months at Fort Dix. And it is the same response they have given to every single one of the 101 people who have now filed civil lawsuits against Sean Combs. Every single one. So here is the question this community cannot walk away from. At what point does calling every accuser a liar stop being a legal strategy and start being the most revealing thing Diddy's team has ever said?
We're pleased that he's been held responsible for something, which is something that hasn't happened in his lifetime. And, we're hopeful that ultimately he receives a substantial sentence for what he's done. And, we're pleased that Cassie's brought to light everything that has happened in this trial.
Let me take you back to November 2023, because that is where this entire story starts. Not the indictment, not the trial, not the sentencing. November 2023, Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit. One woman, one filing, against one of the most powerful men in the history of the music industry. A man whose connections stretched from Bad Boy Records to Hollywood to the highest levels of the entertainment world. A man whose name had been untouchable for 3 decades. And that one lawsuit, filed on a Tuesday in November, opened something that has not closed since. Within 24 hours of Cassie's filing becoming public, Diddy's team settled. No trial, no discovery, no public testimony, gone. And the speed of that settlement told every person who had been sitting with their own story, watching from a distance, wondering if anyone would ever believe them, that there was something real behind what Cassie was saying, that the settlement was not the act of a man with nothing to hide. And what followed that settlement is the most significant wave of civil litigation ever filed against a single entertainer in American history. Case after case after case. Names coming forward, lawsuits landing, a federal investigation opening, charges filed, a trial, a conviction, a 50-month sentence. And through every single development, through every new lawsuit, through every new accuser, through every new filing, Diddy's team has had exactly one response. The same response, word for word, lawsuit after lawsuit, month after month, for 30 months. And they just used that same response on lawsuit number 101, filed by a former child actor who says he was a minor when it happened. And Diddy's spokesperson called him just another hater.
A former child actor has accused Sean Diddy Combs of sexually assaulting him back in 2007 at a networking event in the Hollywood Hills. Now, Sean Combs denies this, but let me walk you through the allegations. This former child actor says that they met Sean Combs at this networking event.
Because here is how 101 civil lawsuits actually happen. Because it does not happen all at once. It builds, slowly, then fast, then faster than anyone anticipated. Cassie's settlement in November 2023 was the crack in the wall. Within weeks, more women came forward, then more men, then industry figures, then former employees, then people who had been silent for years, for a decade, for 2 decades. Each new filing giving the next person watching from a distance the permission they needed to come forward. Because that is how these situations work. The first person to speak publicly carries the entire weight of not being believed, of being attacked, of having their entire life examined and questioned and dismantled by a legal team with unlimited resources. Cassie carried that weight, and then the wall came down. And what came through it was not a handful of opportunists looking for a payday. It was people describing the same patterns, the same environments, the same methods, the same threats, the same language, the same power, used the same way across years and venues and cities and circumstances. And federal investigators noticed Because when lawsuit after lawsuit from people who have never met each other describes the same specific behavior from the same specific person in the same specific way, that is not a coincidence. That is a pattern. And that pattern is what put Diddy in a federal courtroom. What produced a conviction, what built a 50-month sentence, and what is still building in Los Angeles right now, where the district attorney's office has confirmed an active criminal review of separate allegations from a music producer. The wall that Cassie cracked in November 2023 is still falling. And lawsuit number 101, filed by a former child actor who says he was a minor when it happened, is just the latest piece of it hitting the ground.
He gave a thumbs up to his family, his mother seated in the gallery. He blew a kiss. He made a heart shape with his hands. His children's faces lit up when they saw their father. They also pumped their fists when they saw him.
Because here is what this community needs to understand about the legal strategy Diddy's team has been running since the very first lawsuit landed. It has never changed, not once, across 101 civil cases, across a federal indictment, across a trial, across a conviction, across a sentencing. The strategy is always the same three moves. Move 1, deny the allegations completely, every single time, regardless of the evidence, regardless of what surveillance footage shows, regardless of what testimony says, regardless of how many people are saying the same thing independently. Deny. Move 2, attack the accuser personally, question their motives, question their character, question their timing. Make the story about why they are lying rather than about what they are alleging. Move 3, attack the lawyers, call them personal injury opportunists, call the lawsuits a money gravy train. Frame the entire wave of civil litigation as a coordinated financial scheme rather than as 101 people describing what they say happened to them. 3 moves, every time, without variation. And Judah Engelmeyer has been the public face of all 3 moves since the beginning. When Cassie filed in 2023, deny, attack, discredit. When the federal indictment landed, deny, attack, discredit. When Kirk Burrows described a baseball bat and 30 years of alleged abuse, deny, attack, discredit. When Clayton Howard described 2 years of preparation and cleanup and what he alleges happened in those hotel rooms, deny, attack, discredit. And when a former child actor filed lawsuit number 101, describing what he says happened to him as a minor in 2007, Engelmeyer looked at that filing and said the same 3 words he has said to every single person who has come forward in 30 months: false and ridiculous. But here is where this strategy is starting to crack in a way it never has before.
It is really a sad day for everybody.
I don't feel that way. I feel justice was served.
He should be released.
Justice was
Mr.
served.
Combs should be home.
After an 8-week trial, Combs was acquitted of the more serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering.
Wait, because I need you to stop and actually hear what Judah Engelmeyer said about lawsuit number 101. Not a summary. The actual words. He said the new accuser is just another hater in a long list of people trying to get in on the money gravy train, encouraged by personal injury lawyers. Just another hater in a long list. Now, sit with those words for a second, because this is not a response to an anonymous tip. This is not a response to a tabloid rumor. This is a response to a formal lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court by someone who says they were a child when it happened. Who says they were a working minor in the entertainment industry when they were allegedly alone in a room with Sean Combs. And the official response from Diddy's team to that specific filing was to call them just another hater in a long list. Think about what that framing does to every person who has filed one of those 101 lawsuits. It erases them. It collapses them into a category, a list, a gravy train, not 101 individuals with 101 specific experiences spanning decades. Just a list of haters, encouraged by lawyers, looking for money. And here is what makes that specific framing so significant in the context of everything this community has been watching. Diddy's team chose to use the same language for the child accuser as they have used for every adult accuser before him. The same tone, the same dismissal, the same 3 moves, as if the fact that this person says they were a minor when it happened changes nothing about how they deserve to be spoken about publicly. Just another hater on a gravy train. And sitting here watching this unfold from Oslo, that specific choice to flatten a child accuser into the same dismissal used for everyone else is the most revealing thing Diddy's team has done publicly in this entire 30-month saga.
To some breaking news now. New York's highest court this morning overturning Harvey Weinstein's 2020 rape conviction. The court finding the judge at the landmark trial prejudiced the ex-movie mogul with improper rulings, including a decision to let women testify about allegations that were not part of the case.
Because here is where Diddy's legal situation stands right now in full. And it is significantly more complicated than his spokesperson's three-move strategy suggests. He is serving 50 months at FCI Fort Dix in New Jersey. His criminal appeal is still pending at the Second Circuit Court of Appeals in New York. 3 judges who called the case exceptionally difficult have not ruled yet. A ruling could drop any day between now and August. And if the appeal fails, his release date sits at April 25th, 2028. But here is what makes the money gravy train response look most disconnected from reality. Because while Engelmayer is calling accusers haters from inside a federal prison, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office has confirmed it is actively reviewing separate criminal allegations against Combs, a case involving music producer Jonathan Hay, who says serious misconduct occurred during studio sessions in Los Angeles in 2020 and 2021. And both the LAPD and the LA County Sheriff's Department have separately presented their own investigations for the same victim to the same prosecutor simultaneously. Deadline drew the comparison directly. They called it bicoastal justice. The same framework that saw Harvey Weinstein convicted in New York, then transferred to California, then convicted again on separate charges in a separate trial by a separate jury. 2 states, 2 trials, 2 convictions. And that is the architecture now being assembled around Sean Combs in real time. A federal conviction in New Jersey, a potential state case in California, a Second Circuit appeal still unresolved, and 101 civil lawsuits still active. All of that simultaneously, while his spokesperson calls every accuser just another hater on a gravy train. And here is what that specific combination of facts tells you about where this story actually is.
2 hours of arguments with this, and during those arguments, we're told judges questioned whether a judge improperly considered elements of acquitted charges to sentence Combs. As we have reported, Combs was acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering charges, but was convicted on prostitution-related charges.
Because let's talk about what Judah Engelmayer said about Diddy's state of mind inside Fort Dix right now. Because in between calling accusers haters and dismissing lawsuits as gravy trains, he gave an interview about what Diddy is actually doing inside that prison. He said Combs has become like a paralegal, if not a lawyer already. That clients who are deeply involved in their cases are the ones who get further. He said Diddy is focused on the appeal and looking back at his life trying to figure out ways to improve and be a better person. Looking back at his life, trying to improve, be a better person. Those are the words of a man whose spokesperson simultaneously called a child accuser just another hater on a gravy train. Both of those things were said publicly in the same week by the same team. And here is what that contradiction reveals about the strategy that has been running for 30 months. Accountability facing inward, aggression facing outward, reflection for the judge and the appeals court, dismissal for the accusers, improvement language for the public narrative, gravy train language for anyone who files a lawsuit. And the machine keeps running. The denial keeps coming. The same 3 moves keep landing on the same script regardless of who is filing and what they say happened and when they say it happened and how old they were when they say it happened. 101 times. Same response. Every time. And here is the detail that makes all of it land differently now than it did when Cassie filed that first lawsuit in November 2023. Because back then, Diddy was free. Back then, the settlement could be spun as a business decision. Back then, the legal team had resources and access and the full weight of one of the most powerful brands in entertainment behind every denial. Back then, the wall was still standing. Now, he is at Fort Dix. The wall is gone. The conviction is on the record. The appeal is unresolved. The LADA is reviewing new allegations, and lawsuit number 101 just landed from someone who says they were a child when it happened. And the response, after all of that, after everything this community has watched for 30 months, is still just another hater on a gravy train. And that is where we land today, June 10th, 2026. Sean Combs is at Fort Dix, serving 50 months, studying his appeal like a paralegal, according to his own spokespersons. Looking back at his life, trying to figure out ways to be a better person. And simultaneously, that same spokesperson is looking at 101 civil lawsuits, at 30 months of accusers coming forward, at a former child actor who says he was a minor when it happened, and calling every single one of them just another hater on a money gravy train. 101 people, one response, every time, without variation, without acknowledgement, without a single moment of publicly recognizing that when 101 people independently describe the same patterns from the same person across decades. That is not a gravy train. That is a record. And this community has been watching that record build since November 2023. We were here when Cassie filed. We were here when the federal charges landed. We were here when the conviction came down. We were here when the appeal was filed. We were here when the LADA confirmed a separate criminal review. And we are here today as lawsuit number 101 lands. And the man at Fort Dix studies his legal briefs, and his spokesperson calls a child accuser just another hater. That gap between the reflection language aimed at judges and the dismissal language aimed at accusers is the clearest picture of this entire situation that we have seen in 30 months. And this community deserves to name it for exactly what it is. Now I want to hear from you, because you have been right about this story at every single turn. Do you think the money gravy train response used on 101 accusers, including a former child, is a legal strategy that still has any credibility left? Or has it finally become the thing that tells you everything you need to know? Drop your answer in the comments right now. And if you want to understand every legal front Diddy is currently fighting simultaneously, the appeal, the LADA review, the civil wave, the bicoastal justice comparison, we have broken all of it down right here on Fame Insight. If you have been with us, you already know how deep it goes. I will see you there.